What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. For those of you new to the channel, my name is Vince Warburton and this is VW Fitness. Today we are talking about Beam's pre-workout mango lime. Let's get to it. All right, guys, so before we get into this review, just a quick reminder, make sure you hit that subscribe and bell for notifications. It helps the channel grow. I really do appreciate you guys doing that. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at the VW Fitness. Stay up to date with the latest and greatest as well as giveaway information. I really appreciate you guys doing that. It's really helping the channel grow, especially as we move right into 2021. I know the majority of us, probably all of us, can say we're all looking forward to a new year. So let's get after it. We are talking about Beam's pre-workout. Now, just a full disclaimer here before I get into this. They did send this product to me for free. They did not pay me. They did not tell me to say anything specific. Basically just said, hey, shoot a review if you'd like. And I said, great, sounds fantastic. I would love to put this through the ringer. I have seen them on Instagram, a little bit of some marketing stuff. And I'm really excited to kind of jump into this and see what their company and what they bring to the table in a market that's just so saturated. Like, there's so many pre-workouts out there, and there's a lot of great ones and there's a lot of bad ones. So we're here to filter those out. Hopefully this passes the test. I think it will. We'll just have to wait and see. So if you guys are new to the channel, we break down the supplement review into 4 different parts. We're going to talk about number 1, price; 2, the label ingredient breakdown; thirdly, we'll take a taste test; and then last up, we will do an effects portion of the video, which is probably the most important part, especially for a pre-workout. Now, I am going to run this for 3 full days to really get the maximum kind of idea of how this pre-workout sits with me. With any pre-workout or any supplement, it's going to affect everyone differently. So obviously make sure you check with your doctor or physician before adding any sort of supplement into your daily routine. All right, guys, so let's jump right into that price point. $39.99 for 20 full servings. Now, this is one of those pre-workouts that is split between a 40-20, 1 scoop, 2 scoop. Now, as we always do on the channel, we're gonna break this down into the maximum dose of 2 scoops. So the price per serving is gonna be about $2 a serving. On the consistent pricing scale, that is gonna come in at a 4 out of 10. Now, I've said this before about ratings when it comes to prices, and even with like the label ingredient breakdowns, it almost doesn't matter. It's almost the most important thing here is more than likely the effectiveness, and then it's gonna come down to the ingredients and what you think you need from a pre-workout. So always kind of keep that in mind. Price is not the only thing. It's all about the whole big picture here when it comes to a pre-workout. So 4 out of 10 on the pricing scale. Let's move right into the label ingredient breakdown. Now, there are a ton of actives in here. We'll pop that up on the screen now. We start out with, like I said, a 2 scoop serving is 24.2 grams. That is for 20 full servings within the tub. Start out with 5 grams of L-citrulline. Now, I'm a huge fan of citrulline. I kind of started on arginine back in the day, and I really enjoyed that, but I feel like citrulline is like the money when it comes to vasodilation, getting those pumps, and 5 grams is a great amount. This is not citrulline malate. This is straight up pure citrulline, which I can appreciate. That is an efficacious dose. Next up, 3.2 grams of the carnosine beta-alanine. It's responsible for those beta tingles, kind of that flushing kind of feeling. That is an effective dose. Love seeing that. I feel like a lot of people are looking for beta-alanine in a pre-workout because it's almost like an indicator of like when the pre is kicking in. Now, that's not like scientifically correct. It's just the way that the amino acid is actually processing through the body. That doesn't mean all the rest of the actives are actually being processed at the same time. So just kind of keep that in mind, but I do like seeing some beta-alanine in here. Next up, we got 3 grams of the betaine anhydrous. It's gonna help with the power output. Now, typically you would see between 2.5 to about 3-4 grams of betaine anhydrous. So definitely great to see that here. 2 grams of taurine. Now, we usually see about 1 gram. This is pushing 2. Obviously, if you do 1 scoop, you're gonna get 1 gram of taurine. So love seeing that. 2 grams of L-tyrosine. Solid amount. Again, I've seen a lot of pre-workouts. We've talked about a lot of pre-workouts for some reason pushing 250, 500 milligrams. So 2 grams, good amount there. 300 milligrams of the KSM66 ashwagandha root extract. For some reason, it seems to be popping up more and more in a lot more, not necessarily pre-workouts, but just kind of overall supplementation. Benefits are going to include like anti-anxiety, reducing stress. Overall, that's going to help us in the gym when we're basically putting our body through the most strenuous stress that we possibly can. And that is a good amount of KSM66. Now, this is where things get a little funny for me, because I've talked about this a lot on the channel and I'm very interested to see kind of how this goes. But we have 250 milligrams of caffeine, which is from a coffee berry, whole coffee fruit extract, and green coffee beans. So this is an all natural caffeine, guys. This is not a caffeine anhydrous. Now, I said this about I can't even remember which pre-workout it was, but it was, I think 2 pre-workouts ago. And I'm not a huge fan of natural caffeine. Now, I get why. you would want to take a natural caffeine, or some people would, because they don't want that super sharp, like up and then crash. Some people prefer it, some people don't. Everyone kind of, you know, different strokes for different folks, as they say. For me personally, 250 is on the lower side of caffeine, especially as a natural caffeine, but we'll see how this kind of goes. So then next up, we have 250 milligrams of the cocoa bean seed extract, theobroma cocoa L, which is theobromine, guys. So this is gonna work in synchrony with that caffeine, guys. This is gonna give us kind of more of an, not necessarily an extended release, but just kind of that natural little level of energy level, which we're gonna need through a big workout. So I'm excited to see that. Next up, we have 200 milligrams of grapeseed extract. This is gonna help with cardio. There's a lot of research that shows cardiovascular health, a lot of blood pressure health here, reducing stress, antioxidants. So overall, great to see that. I don't typically see grapeseed extract a ton in a lot of pre-workouts, but cool to see it here. 100 milligrams of L-theanine. This is gonna kind of help level everything out, but this is where, again, I'm a little funny because I am a stim junkie. I'm chasing those high stim kind of pre-workouts. So I want something that's gonna give me that big kick, and unfortunately, I will deal with a crash. I prefer not to get the crash, but this theanine is gonna kind of help level things out if I end up getting a big spike here today or over the next few days. So definitely cool to see that. Is it a little bit high? I would probably say yes. I would probably go like more like a 50 milligrams. But again, guys, you gotta remember, I'm a stim junkie. I'm not really wanting things to be leveled off. I want things to just go right up to the sky. Next up, we have 50 milligrams of estrogen. That's gonna help with absorption. I'm a huge fan of estrogen. I really haven't been talking about it a lot on the channel recently because a lot of products I've been talking about have not had it in there. But this is something that I do supplement on the side if I do not see it in a pre-workout. Not necessarily when I do a review, but when I am just kind of taking pre-workouts and they don't have estrogen, I will add in 1 capsule of estrogen in there. Just kind of help with absorption of all the ingredients, because what is a pre-workout if my body just kind of flushes it all out and doesn't absorb the majority of the ingredients? And then last up, this is an interesting ingredient. It's resveratrol, and this is 40 milligrams. This is again kind of an antioxidant, anti-stress, anti-anxiety kind of supplement. Not a ton of research here. I had to do a little bit of some digging here, but I have not seen this ingredient, I don't think, in any other pre-workout that I've tested. So kind of an interesting kind of vibe to the label and the ingredients that we went with. Now, they did all their own research when it comes to building this pre-workout. They do manufacture and source all their ingredients themselves, put it all together, and they have their own manufacturing facility, which I think is really interesting. Very different from most pre-workouts. I feel like a lot of pre-workouts use like a third party that manufactures and puts everything together, and they work with multiple different supplement companies. Whereas these guys, it's coming from one source, okay? They are sourcing the ingredients themselves, and then they are putting it all together, and you know, even flavorings, everything is coming into this tub by them. You know, no one else is really doing it, which I think is different. This is very different. The company itself is different, and I think that's where, you know, things like that can really make you stand out as a pre-workout, as I'm talking about it on a review. So I think it's very interesting. In terms of the label ingredient breakdown, guys, everything on here is obviously transparent and fully disclosed, which I can appreciate. I think that's kind of industry standard now at this point. If it's not fully transparent, like, you're getting docked, like, I don't know, 1,000,000 points for that. But, you know, everything in here is dosed very, very nicely. The issue for me is the stimulant side of things, and there's not any nootropic ingredients. But again, this is one of those things where like you can change it, you can add things, whatever you want to do. For me personally, I would prefer caffeine anhydrous, maybe some dicaffeine malt to kind of just give us that extended energy. But for me overall, I think the label is really good. I think everything, the core ingredients for me are very, very solid. I'm gonna give this an 8 out of 10. I think everything on here is actually very well dosed, and the ingredients that they picked are very interesting. So I'm interested to see kind of how it comes together in the effectiveness. But let's move into the taste profile, guys. So this does come in 2 different flavors, guys. We have the mango lime here, and it comes in watermelon candy. I'm excited to give this a try. Mango is probably like my go-to like favorite flavor of like a mango margarita, or like just mango, like the mango O's. I love those things. But yeah, excited to jump into this. We have not opened this. We have not tried it. 8 ounces of water is what this recommends. So very interesting label here. It's actually all in one. So if I slide this off, this whole thing comes right off. So interesting there. I would have thought it was printed or like a separate thing, but that's cool. Scooper's right on top. That's what it looks like. Remember the standard here. Smells like mango. No clumping here. Pretty fine kind of powder. We have 8 ounces of water here. 1 full scoop. plus one more full scoop. Smells incredible. We'll give this a nice good shake. And that is what we're looking like. So minimal foaming here, as you guys can see. Everything on the bottom, there's actually not a ton of sediment, but there is some sediment here on the bottom. Nothing too terrible. It is a very yellow, dark yellow, mango looking kind of color, which is interesting. Cheers. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, it is interesting. Let me dive right into this. Okay. Ooh. So initially it has this kind of sweet mango flavor, which is very nice. And then, as I'm sure you guys saw, that bitterness comes in real hot with that lime kind of flavoring. So it has this kind of very sweet and kind of not sour, but just kind of like, I guess you could say sour, zesty, citrusy, not sweet kind of aftertaste. I do taste a little bit of some supplementation on the back end, kind of that supplement kind of taste. But yeah, it's very sweet off the top, and then pretty zesty on the back end, and you kind of get that lime kind of flavoring there. I do taste a little bit, like I said, of that supplement actives kind of flavor, which is not the best. Not a huge fan of that. I wish it was masked a little bit more, and I wish the balance between the lime and the mango kind of came together a little bit nicer. It kind of feels like two flavors right on top of each other. It's not bad, but again, with pre-workouts and with taste, guys, I don't really care. I'm here to just smash this back and then get right into the gym. Now, obviously, if I did a little bit more water, it probably wouldn't be as heavy, but this does recommend 8 ounces of water for 1 scoop or 2 scoops. So as we always do, we always follow the label instructions on there. Overall, in terms of the flavor, I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10. I think it's just like, it's okay. It's not anything special. It's right in the middle. I was expecting a lot more. I wasn't too sure what was gonna happen. So yeah, guys, in terms of the flavor, I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10. We're gonna hop into the gym. Some quick notes with these guys, they are GMP certified, they are NSF approved, and they are in a FDA regulated kind of facility. So just kind of keep that in mind. This is a product that I would say is safe for the majority of people. That's kind of where they're marketing towards, and who their target audience is kind of for the masses here. So just kind of keep that in mind. Excited to run this, see how things go. Make sure you guys stay tuned. Let's get into the effects. All right, guys, let's talk about the Beam pre-workout effects. And first off, I'm gonna touch back on the taste profile, because they did send me the watermelon candy flavor, so I did give that a taste test, 2 scoops as well. I ran this for 3 days, and to be honest with you, I would recommend going with the watermelon candy. I think my initial taste test of this was okay, but honestly, like after drinking it a couple more times, I just was not a fan. So unfortunately, I think my taste profile here, as much as my expectations were very, very high, I think honestly, it kind of comes in at like probably a 2 out of 10 for me. I didn't have any ill side effects when it comes to like any stomach issues or like, you know, having to run to the bathroom immediately after taking this. It's just the flavor itself. I taste some of the supplements ingredients in there, which I'm not a huge fan of. I would prefer if it could be masked a little bit more. And just the overall flavor just didn't hit for me. Now, just a reminder, guys, taste is very subjective. So, you know, you guys may love this. I'm just not a huge fan when it comes to pre-workouts. That's the least important thing to me. Honestly, I'm just looking to kind of throw this back and you know, get into the gym and get working out. So let's talk about the effects though. Honestly, so let's go through each kind of little section. In terms of pumps, I think this does perform pretty well. Is it the best I've ever had? No, I wouldn't say that, but I would say the pumps definitely came into play. So when it comes to the focus, guys, honestly, it didn't really come together for me. I didn't get like an insane amount of focus here. I did, like I said, run this for multiple days. 2 of the 3 workouts were fasted. So, you know, that's another thing. Like usually when I'm on a fasted workout, the ingredients kind of hit a little bit harder for me. But unfortunately, it just didn't come together for me when it comes to the focus, or unfortunately, the energy was not heavy hitting. Now, mind you, there's always a disclaimer when I say this stuff, and I said this about 2 videos ago, when it comes to natural caffeine, it just does not hit the same way. Now, it will keep me up, it'll keep me sustained through a workout, but it's not that heavy hitting like spike of energy that I personally am searching for when it comes to a pre-workout. So for me, the effects on this didn't really come together great. I think this is a product for entry-level kind of people that are looking for a little bit more than like a C4 or like some of those other, you know, mainstream kind of pre-workouts. I would say this is a little bit better. It kind of sits right above that. I would say this would be potentially better for someone that is doing aerobic activity. So maybe some running, cycling, swimming, that sort of thing. But when it comes to the heavy, strenuous kind of activity. Now, I am gonna give away this tub. Head on over to my Instagram. All you gotta do is follow me at DVW Fitness. You're gonna like the post that has this pre-workout. It's Beam pre-workout. You're gonna comment Beam 2020. You guys can see all the instructions right here on the screen, and you're gonna share it to your story. That's all you have to do, guys. We'll pick a winner by the end of the week. We'll ship this out with an official VW Fitness Shaker Cup, and we'll get this out to you guys. You guys let me know your thoughts of this pre, and we can go from there. So anyway, guys, that's gonna wrap up this video. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you smash that thumbs up button, hit the subscribe and bell for notifications. And as always, we'll catch you in the next one.